Stand on London's birthplace, steamy Wolf Swamp where the Thames first felt tameable, ancient tribes driving cattle through fog-shrouded tidal flats, alder thickets clawing reed banks under eternal mist. No fancy palaces or concrete sidewalks mark the spot, just muddy animal trails cut deep through alder thickets, linking distant hill forts with flint arrowheads buried deep in the muck for centuries. Then, around year 433 after Christ, Roman engineers from the 14th Legion hammered massive timber pilings straight into the Thames River mud bottom. Teams of bellowing oxen dragged an 80-pace-long wooden bridge into position across the churning current, and just like that, boom! Londinium was born as a critical supply depot, fueling Emperor Claudius's full-scale invasion of Britain. Riverfront wharfs stacked high at high tide, overflowed with Italian wine jars, stamped with official amphora seals from sunny Narbonne vineyards, moldy Gallic figs rotting inside damp wicker baskets, shimmering German glass beads tumbling out of traders' leather pouches onto the gravel docks where roughneck porters shouted Latin curses at each other all day long. By year 50 after Christ, 6,000 people packed those narrow gravel streets, buzzing with raw commerce. A tax office planted right beside the bridge collected 1% duty on every single cargo of briny Essex oysters, fresh wheeled forest timber logs, and heavy lead ingots mined from the Mendip Hills, all manhandled by sweating stevedores cursing under their breath. The governor's palace shone bright, whitewashed on the northern hill overlooking the Strand Road, its colorful fresco walls giving commanding views of non-stop river traffic with ox-pulled barges gliding past. Massive ragstone walls soon encircled the whole settlement, a solid mile upon mile studded with 20 jutting bastions designed to shield the baby port city from howling Caledonian Picts painted blue for battle. The street grid locked in Londinium's bony backbone. Watling Street shot east from the bridge straight toward Kent seaports. Roads climbed north through Bishopsgate, where ancient oak forests took over, and paths snaked west along the river curve toward long-forgotten Celtic hill forts dotting the horizon. Cryptgate stank with tanneries curing bloody animal hides, while Newgate forges clanged non-stop, hammering out legionary short swords from dawn till dark. Then, year 60 after Christ delivered Boudicca's pure payback. The fierce Iceni queen rallied her warriors to torch that vulnerable timber bridge first thing, hacking down or drowning 25,000 merchants, families, and officials in a bloody rout as the forum buildings burned to glowing ash piles by evening, with massive flames lighting up the muddy Thames River like one giant funeral bonfire. Londinium smoldered completely for 2 full years before clawing back stronger than ever. Engineers threw up a gigantic basilica forum complex, packing 2 basilicas stretching 200 feet each. Street shops hawked shiny red-gloss Samian-ware pottery bowls, straight from Gaul's master potters, while public bathhouses steamed beside the sacred Walbrook stream, where ox skulls got nailed to timber dock posts to ward off evil river tides. Year 122 after Christ, Emperor Hadrian himself marched across Londinium's fortress parade ground during his grand wall-building tour of Britannia, with Vindolanda wooden writing tablets shipped down from remote northern outposts, carefully logging London grain deliveries for hungry legion bakers. By year 250 after Christ, an incredible 45,000 residents jammed inside walls, guarding 330 acres of dense urban sprawl. Temples carved from rugged Kentish ragstone honored Egyptian goddess Isis and Persian god Mithras, while a massive amphitheater seated 5,000 screaming fans for brutal bear-baiting shows, sand-soaked gladiator duels, and public executions drawing massive jeering crowds, all with wooden drains flushed twice daily by powerful Thames tidal surges roaring in.
Some winters, the Thames River froze rock solid for 3 miles wide. Spontaneous frost fairs exploded across the ice fields, with canvas tents peddling roasted chestnuts, foaming mead flagons, slow-turning ox roasts on spits, and wild skating races carving paths through thick snowdrifts as crowds cheered wildly. Year 410 after Christ ripped apart the whole Roman system. Emperor Honorius yanked every legion back home to defend against Visigoths, sacking Rome itself, leaving Londinium to crumble into haunted Celtic ghost town twilight. Timber bridge posts rotted away into weed-choked mudflats, rickety wharfs collapsed under their own sagging pilings, wolves howled nightly through deserted basilica ruins where thick ivy vines pried apart faded mosaic floors and ragstone walls tumbled down completely untended. By year 617 after Christ, Ethelbert, King of Kent, handed over the old Temple Mound on Ludgate Hill to Bishop Mellitus, raising London's first Christian church of St. Paul with a sturdy timber nave frame topped with heavy thatch roofing, its handbells ringing out across open fields to summon converts from the London Wick trading outpost located west near Covent Garden Meadows. Anglo-Saxon merchants traded sparkling Rhine glass beads, blue-glazed Frankish cooking pots, and massive walrus ivory tusks shipped from remote Orkney beaches where flower-lined lanes met the gravel Thames strand at low tide. Year 665 after Christ, bubonic plague ripped outward from St. Paul's church steps, killing half of the 8,000 residents who got shoveled unceremoniously into rough gravel burial pits, dug in panic. Vikings swarmed in year 851, 350 dragon-prowed longships torching Southwark's thatch-roofed villages right across the shaky wooden London Bridge linking north and south riverbanks. King Alfred the Great rebuilt the old Roman earthworks into proper city defenses by year 885 after Christ. His grandson, Athelstan, started minting silver pennies right there by year 925 after Christ, every coin proudly stamped London Moneda next to the royal portrait. Edward the Confessor constructed majestic Westminster Abbey by year 1065 after Christ, its enormous minster bells tolling hourly across vast cow pastures, stretching all the way to Thames mudflats below. Poor Harold Godwinson only wore the crown 9 short months before year 1066 flipped Britain's fate upside down completely.
William the Conqueror threw down fresh timber across the Thames River Bridge in year 1066 after Christ and got recrowned right there, his battle-hardened Norman knights roaring cheers inside Edward the Confessor's Abbey until sneaky Saxon knives started flashing from underneath cloaks, turning wild celebration into instant sour chaos. By year 1078 after Christ, the brutal White Tower started rising like a stone monster on Tower Hill, massive cane limestone blocks quarried straight from Normandy and muscled up the Thames River by sweating barge crews, with dripping wet dungeons that flooded twice daily at high tide to slowly drown captured rebel earls, plus super narrow arrow slits that scanned every inch of bridge traffic and river approaches without mercy. Year 1106 after Christ turned grim when William's bloated corpse straight up burst open right across Westminster burial flags during the funeral mass, the putrid stink sending black-robed mourners scrambling into the abbey's dark shadows in total panic. Henry II bankrolled Westminster's gigantic Great Hall by year 1250 after Christ, complete with a massive hammer-beam timber roof thrown open to swirling winter ravens until fancy glazed panels finally got added centuries later. Magna Carta got sealed year 1215 after Christ, and its rebel spirit echoed loud from Runnymede Meadows 20 miles upstream. Stone-faced barons galloped narrow Thames paths to force King John's shaky wax seal under the ancient oak canopy while he fumed.
The Black Death, year 1348 after Christ, slashed London's 60,000 residents in half without pity. Giant plague pits gaped open at East Smithfield execution grounds. Night carts rattled through "Bring out your dead" cries past lane barricades, splashed with blood-red crosses, while Thames River banks choked with bloated corpses rolling back and forth on the tides. Lollards preaching straight from the Bible in everyday English got burned alive at Smithfield Stakes, year 1418 after Christ, their thick, acrid smoke drifting west toward nervous Clerkenwell nunneries. Jack Cade's raging Kentish Webbles stormed London Bridge, year 1441 after Christ, hacking officials' heads off with sickles and scythes before spiking the severed noggins high on bridge gates for all to see. The Wars of the Roses trapped Yorkist forces behind city walls, year 1460 after Christ, while Lancastrian ghosts hightailed it from Tower Hill, where ominous ravens started gathering in flocks. Duke of Clarence got judged guilty in Westminster Hall before getting secretly drowned in a Malmsing wine butt, year 1487 after Christ. Talk about going out with a splash. Henry VII's chapel shot up fan-vaulted in frosted Purbeck marble, its bells tolling sad over Thames pea-soup fogs rolling in thick from the east. Henry VIII smashed papal power in Rome, year 1534 after Christ, and dissolved the monasteries hard. Greyfriars Cloister got gutted and flipped into ratty tenements for silk weavers, while Fountains Abbey's cut stones floated down Thames barges to fuel London masons rebuilding palaces in flashy non-such style. Archbishop Cranmer roasted slow on an Oxford stake, year 1556 after Christ, with January winds whipping his grey-beard flames straight toward distant Folly Bridge towers and spires. Elizabeth charged triumphantly to the throne, year 1558 after Christ, amid eardrum-busting fanfares blasting from London Guildhall's Great Hall, then dropped her epic Tilbury speech, year 1588 after Christ, to steel ragged troops staring down Armada sails spotted way off on the Channel horizon. Shakespeare's Globe Theatre opened year 1599 after Christ and packed Bankside groundlings knee-deep in Thames mud at low tide, right next to roaring bear-baiting pits with chained dogs and bulls going savage riverside. Year 1605 after Christ, gunpowder plot conspirators stacked 36 oak barrels of gunpowder under Parliament cellars, but got totally foiled by an anonymous letter warning Catholic lords and naming every plotter. Fox ended up tortured on the Tower rack. Plague emptied those muddy playhouses year 1665 after Christ as 68,000 souls either fled Shoreditch lanes or festered feverish behind shuttered doors. King James diced big at Whitehall banquets every night, while the Thames River threw its famous Frost Fair year 1621 after Christ. 2 full weeks of ice thick enough for printing presses, cranking souvenir broadsides, sold tent to tent across the frozen waterway. Charles I climbed the Whitehall scaffold year 1649 after Christ and took an axe straight through January frost. His royal blood froze solid on the cobblestones as the massive crowd groaned like thunder, slamming the door on monarchy. The Commonwealth Republic banned theaters cold until Dutch Mazarin shipped in actresses year 1660 after Christ. Nell Gwynn hustled oranges outside bawdy King's Company plays at Drury Lane, pulling in flashy bows. Christopher Wren eyeballed the dangerously tilting old St. Paul's spire year 1661 after Christ, its 1,000-year nave sagging hard under medieval masonry weight. Great Plague year 1665 after Christ slaughtered 98,000 straight up. Beak-masked docks dabbed vinegar rags on plague boils. Thames-side lazaritos locked down suspect ships forever. Streets barricaded with Red Cross symbols painted on doors. Stray dogs shot as carriers. Charterhouse fields dug 80 feet long and stacked like cordwood with dead bodies, waiting for lime burial while priests chanted non-stop. Then, September 2nd, year 1666 after Christ, great fire exploded from Pudding Lane bakery faggots, with live coals leaping like crazy across thatch roofs in a 60-mile-per-hour shrieking gale from the east. Flames torched the ancient wooden London Bridge in spectacular style at 60 houses per hour, flooded old St. Paul's nave with molten lead bubbling feet deep through priceless mosaics, reduced 13,200 houses to total ash across 63 gutted acres from Pudding Lane to Thames Banks, leaving 800,000 homeless souls shivering on frozen river mud. Samuel Pepys buried his precious Parmesan wheels in garden cellars for safekeeping. Wren sketched visionary Baroque domes through choking acrid smoke veils that blacked out daylight.
Rebuilding turned London into a stone powerhouse rising from the ashes like a phoenix. Christopher Wren cranked out 51 stunning new churches with shining copper domes catching golden sunrise glints, while the soaring monument obelisk stabbed 202 feet into the smoky sky right over fatal Pudding Lane's origin spot, marked forever. Greenwich Naval Hospital kicked off year 1692 after Christ as Wren and Evelyn's masterpiece tag team, Thames River warships rigging crazy complex topmast spiderwebs, prepping for Dutch war domination. Queen Anne's Bounty, year 1710 after Christ, funneled seized church lands into parish paychecks. Hanoverian George I hit Greenwich docks year 1715 after Christ with zero fanfare, just thick German accent taking over English pea soup fogs while locals grumbled. Population exploded to 50,000 souls by year 1720 after Christ, packing every ward tight. Coffeehouses went nuts with early stock market fever. Garraways auctioned entire shipping hulls and insurance policies. Jonathan's Wild flipped bills of exchange like hotcakes. The creaky medieval bridge of boats got crushed in a catastrophic ice jam year 1750 after Christ, but sleek new five-arched Westminster Bridge opened year 1739 after Christ, spanning glittering turquoise Thames River in pure sunlight glory. Hogarth scratched out his infamous Gin Lane drunks staggering like zombies year 1742 after Christ, amid 6,000 illegal distilleries stinking up Spitalfield's alleys non-stop. Wilkes's crew rioted hard year 1763 after Christ, smashing Middlesex election hustings to splinters, screaming for liberty. Gordon riots year 1780 after Christ busted wide open massive Newgate prison and set prisoners loose, leaving 85 dead in wild brewery flames licking up Holborn rooftops for 3 straight days. Industrial muscle hit like a freight train. Steam tugs chugged Thames River estuaries with raw power. Giant docks sprawled from Wapping clear to Isle of Dogs, jammed with West India sugar hogsheads, dripping molasses stink. East India Company tea chests pouring off sleek China clipper bows, slicing through morning fog. Year 1801 after Christ, population detonated to 900,000 overflowing banks. Cutting-edge gas lamps flickered alive first on Pall Mall year 1812 after Christ, throwing eerie orange glows across slick cobblestones all night. Regency Prince Regent bankrolled striped Regent Street as John Nash's architectural knockout, with Brighton Pavilion's Indo-Saracenic crazy mirroring London dandy stripes everywhere. Peterloo massacre rage rippled straight to radical Spa Fields rallies year 1819 after Christ, demanding real reform now. Reform Bill year 1832 after Christ cracked open male voting after bloody brick-throwing riots right on Parliament steps. Victoria hit the throne at age 18 year 1837 after Christ, while crews rebuilt Buckingham Palace into imposing brown brick monster with Nash wings. Crystal Palace blew minds in Hyde Park year 1851 after Christ, a revolutionary glass cathedral pulling 6 million gawking visitors, eyeballing the Koh-i-Noor diamond and Japanese koi ponds like total rock stars. Exhibition cash flood birthed South Kensington's museum empire, Victoria and Albert Ceramics Wonderland, natural history dinosaur bones shaking with Victorian obsession. Paddington Station sliced right through urban turf year 1854 after Christ, with iron and glass vaults echoing arrivals. King's Cross launched soaring brick arches year 1852 after Christ, belching departure smoke plumes.
Thames embankment year 1770 after Christ buried Bazalgette's genius sewage interceptor maze underground, killing off year 1858's cholera nightmare when 15,000 corpses bloated the infamous baby milestone water pumps. World's first underground steam trains roared smoke-choked Metropolitan Line year 1863 after Christ, burrowing claustrophobic wood-green tunnel darkness. Docklands pounded Empire heartbeat around the clock. Opium clippers fresh from Canton Wars stuffed Thames holds full. Coolie gangs sweated unloading ivory tusks and elephant teeth at London docks while Lascars cursed tangled ropes. Jack the Ripper slashed 11 Whitechapel women year 1888 after Christ through gas-lit fog, hiding leather apron alley shadows dripping wet. Match girls struck Bryant and May factory in Bow Common year 1888 after Christ, with Fosse Jaw victims marching Parliament in glowing white dresses, boycotting Lucifers into history. Suffragettes smashed Oxford Street plate glass year 1908 after Christ, with Christabel Pankhurst calling shots. Emmeline Pankhurst jailed Holloway year 1913 after Christ on brutal hunger strike force feedings. Titanic survivors rolled in from Southampton trains to London year April 1912 after Christ. Thames liners trailing grim Atlantic wakes with black-veiled widows everywhere. World War I Zeppelins dumped bombs on docks year 1916 after Christ, killing 123 in East End craters, raining deadly shrapnel while blackout curtains snapped tight. Tanks rolled heavy through Trafalgar Square for Armistice, year 1918 after Christ, cocky soldiers cheering Union Jacks raw. General Strike year 1926 after Christ shut down buses at Victoria Station, trains stalled dead on Paddington platforms, troops guarding docks tense. Wall Street crash year 1929 after Christ wiped out city brokers wearing black armbands. Jarrow hunger arches slogged 500 miles year 1936 after Christ to beg Trafalgar Square for jobs. War sirens screamed again year 1939 after Christ. Paddington trains evacuated 2 million kids with labels pinned on coats. Barrage balloons floated Thames River like silver sausages.
The Blitz turned year 1940 to 41 after Christ into pure hellfire. Luftwaffe bombers flattened East End docks and Coventry street patterns. 1 million homes blasted to rubble dust clouds. 30,000 civilians dead, huddled in dripping Anderson shelters. Christopher Wren's St. Paul's Dome stood defiant as a miracle against the firestorm's silhouette. Firefighters hosed molten lead gutters raining down on the nave's priceless mosaics, while incendiaries whistled through pitch-black skies. Doodlebugs buzzed Stepney rooftops year 1944 after Christ, with engines cutting to dead silence before crashing. V-2 rockets vaporized Whitechapel School, killing 70 kids at splintered desks in one brutal hit. VE Day, year 1945 after Christ, exploded Trafalgar Square fountains with champagne joy. Piccadilly Circus jammed wall to wall with servicemen kissing girls under sweeping searchlights, lipstick smeared everywhere. Festival of Britain, year 1951 after Christ, shot up a Thames-side Skylines needle, glowing futuristic. Dome of Discovery packed radar secrets from the Empire reborn as Cold War flecks. Empire Windrush docked Tilbury year 1948 after Christ, unloading 500 Jamaicans to rebuild bombed-out Brixton homes. Steel drums and calypso soon hit Notting Hill streets, with blue plaques marking history now. National Health Service launched year 1948 after Christ under Attlee gave free doctors and prescription lines snaking blocks. Great Smog year 1952 after Christ choked 4,000 dead in yellow pea soup death clouds. Trolleybuses groped blindly along white lines while cats suffocated inside homes. Elizabeth II's coronation year 1953 after Christ pulled 6 million lining the route cheering wild. Television sets tripled sales, lighting up living rooms from Westminster Abbey gold coaches.
Swinging 60s miniskirts swirled Carnaby Street boutiques designed by Mary Quant. Rolling Stones threw free Hyde Park concert year 1969 after Christ, packing 500,000 on blankets with Mick Jagger white dress gypsy vibes. Decimalization year 1971 after Christ flipped 10 million wallets overnight from shillings and pence into total pub-till chaos. Margaret Thatcher shuttered coal pits year 1979 after Christ, while Big Bang year 1986 after Christ deregulated city trading floors. Screens glowed green neon as brokers screamed trades, birthing FTSE electronic empire. IRA Hyde Park bomb year 1982 after Christ shredded 4 household cavalry horses at the bandstand with rotten drums echoing horror. Whopping print wars year 1986 after Christ saw Murdoch Fortress News International take 5,000 pickets battling police nightly on Isle of Dogs barricades. Poll tax bonfires roared Harleyford Road year 1990 after Christ, fueling Trafalgar Square riots, leaving 85 injured cops in helmets flying. Millennium Dome inflated over Greenwich year 2000 after Christ, like a Thames pregnant oyster shell glowing for Y2K. Now O2 Entertainment pounding bass lines. Princess Diana's Westminster funeral year 1997 after Christ choked streets 10 flowers deep at Kensington Marble Gates. 1 billion watched worldwide through tears. July 7 year 2005 after Christ, suicide bombs slaughtered 52 across Circle Line, Edgware Road, Russell Square, Aldgate Tube, and Tavistock Square bus. Twisted wreckage, commuters bloodied, but buses rolled at dawn with resilient speeches booming. London Olympics year 2012 after Christ jammed Stratford Stadium with 80,000 volunteers, torch flames circling Thames River Marathon past Tower Bridge, Mo Farah grabbing golden double glory. Brexit vote June 20 year 2016 after Christ split 52% leave waving Union Jacks at Parliament Square fireworks while Big Ben bongs rang divided. COVID lockdowns year 2020 after Christ ghosted parks and Oxford Street empty. 20,000 Nightingale hospital beds filled Excel Center marquee wards with clapping carers outside. Shard stabbed the skyline year 2012 after Christ as tallest tower glass dagger 977 feet tall. Walkie-talkie spewed car-melting glare year 2013 after Christ, frying Jaguar panels on Bishopsgate. Crossrail Elizabeth Line bored Paddington tunnels year 2021 after Christ, with purple trains threading at $27 billion cost. Thames Barrier slammed steel gates 20 times yearly since year 1982 after Christ, blocking North Sea flood surges swallowing streets. Today, 30 million souls circle the ancient square-mile walls. Thames clippers zip commuters past Canary Wharf glass cliffs like financial temples piercing clouds. Thameslink electric pulses through 27 boroughs non-stop. Borough Market pumps spices from Dhaka to Delhi street food stalls, sizzling lamb doner kebabs. Oxford Street Primark lines snake dawn Black Friday stampede chaos. Tower ravens eyeball Thames ceremonial barges floating past. Westminster Big Ben chimes quiet under scaffold repairs as tourists snap selfies endless. Underground 270 stations rumble night tube Fridays, hauling bank partygoers. Jubilee Line neon glow pulsing deep. London Eye Ferris wheel spins South Bank crowds non-stop. Shard Pinnacle lasers sweep Thames River night eternal. From Roman bridge piles rotting in mudflats 2 millennia back to glass spires spiking cloud layers today, London's raw pulse never quits. Mud lanes to marble Parliament halls, plague carts creaking to pandemic masks and clapping NHS heroes, always reinventing brutal where moody Thames River bends eternal through concrete canyons and steel bones rising defiant.